DreamHack Open is brought to you by Intel, Corsair, MSI, and Monster Energy.
We're turning up the heat for rounds of our day here at DreamHack Open Fall as our final series promises to get our pulses racing. G2 will be colliding with Big as we find out who will be continuing their upper bracket run. Of course, joining me to break down every second of the action, the wonderful Blair and Maniac. Fantastic to be back here with you, gentlemen. Blair, are you excited to be back up here on the desk for our final game of the day?
Absolutely. I feel this is the one game which is going to be kind of like a 50-50. Don't really know which way it's going to go. Astralis, you're kind of going to have to favor them. And North against Fnatic, you kind of be starting with Fnatic. Those kind of expected results coming out. This game, this is going to be a test for both the teams. And I personally am very excited.
I'm very excited indeed. And I think with that, we can take a little bit of a recap of our bracket to see exactly where the teams are standing, because we've had some action here earlier today, Maniac. Of course, we started off with Astralis versus Godsent. Godsent tried, they really tried to take Astralis down, but unfortunately they couldn't do it, and they'll be falling into the lower bracket against Sprout. And then obviously we kicked off our second game of the day with Fnatic versus North. Again, North tried to make it close, Maniac, but Fnatic, they're just looking stronger and stronger as the tournament progresses.
Fnatic looked to be in a different league than North on this BO3, to be honest, even though there were some efforts being put out by the Danish squad, and Lekro did his best as well on Overpass. That just wasn't enough. Now, if you look at this Astralis versus Fnatic game, that is going to be one hell of a matchup. I guarantee you, looking at Fnatic's form right now, and Astralis also coming together with the return of Sklave, Jesus, that is going to be one game.
It really is. I'm so looking forward to it. I also just want to highlight the remaining teams down there in the lower bracket, Blair, because it's really no joke. We've got OG and we've got FaZe left there waiting for their opponents to be falling down into the lower bracket. It's kind of crazy when we see that caliber of teams already down in the lower bracket.
And not to forget Heroic as well, right? I mean, that is stacked as hell. And I feel like, I think it was Godsend who got a little fortunate. They're going to be facing off against an easier opponent in the form of Sprout. But yeah, this tournament's shaping up to be one hell of a barn burner. And you know what? Usually you look at the lower brackets, you're like, yeah, I can probably skip some of these matchups. Not this time.
You don't want to be skipping any of the matchups here at DreamHack Open Fall. And with that, let's get into our final match of the day. We've got to start off with the map veto here for G2 versus Big. And I know, Maniac, there's a lot of questions coming into this one. Have you found any answers for us?
No, I feel like I have more questions than answers. So just for the viewers to give some context, these teams have played against each other a lot of time. Notoriously, the grand final of the DreamHack Spring Masters. The vetoes have shifted around every time they've played. The sense would be minus Overpass, minus Train. That's what happened last time. That used to be the veto. But I know G2 on the down low have been practicing a little bit of Overpass, so there could be a change in here as well. To be honest, I'm not too sure. Again, Train Overpass should be the veto, but we might be in for a surprise. And I'm not even talking about the pick. There you have it. Okay, let me just make it clear for the viewers at home. These last two maps were played in their last series. All my notes, just wait, look at this, that's my note. I can just take all my notes I have here, I can just put it together and throw it down the trash. Because these two maps were played in the last BO3. So what am I supposed to do right now?
I don't even know.
I don't know either. I have no idea which way this one's going to go. This makes no sense. Like, well, what are we going to be seeing right now?
There we go.
Pick. Oh, Big have big cojones to go for that, especially with G2 just thrashing Astralis 16-2 just a couple of days ago. I give up. This makes no sense.
Okay. I can try. I can try to explain. Let me see. G2 on Inferno, but last time they got completely smacked by Astralis. Maybe it was kind of an awakening call. They figured out all the mistakes, and now they know exactly what they're supposed to do. Big, they lost Dust 2 when they played against G2. That was 16-11. No, actually, it doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. I think we're in for a surprise. We're in for a show.
We are. I absolutely love that to be rounding out our day here. I do want to start off the conversation though by focusing a bit more on that Inferno Maniac, because obviously we saw in G2's most recent game, it was against Heroic. It was an incredibly tight scoreline, but G2 ended up coming away with it rather. It was 16-13 to G2. And we're looking at it here, you know, both teams are playing it quite a lot, but G2 not finding that much success on it. So I'm wondering, you know, is there any logic in this Maniac? Can you kind of see a world where G2 are really, really focusing on this map?
Honestly, the only logic I could see here would be to throw a curveball towards Big. And on the Big's camp, in terms of preparation, probably Inferno was not at the top of the list. Now, it is true that G2 have relatively low numbers, but as you mentioned, they have played versus serious candidates. So we should be careful. We should take them with a pinch of salt. I mean, they played versus Heroic. They lost against Astralis as well. So these are serious teams. They know how to play Inferno. I know they have a great game plan for the CT side, but we have to be careful with the numbers.
Yeah, of course, we have a lot of questions up here on the desk, and maybe you guys down in Twitch chat can give us some answers. We want to hear exactly what you're thinking for this best of 3 series. If you think it's going to go big, put hashtag big in the chat. If you think it's going to be going to G2, put hashtag G2 in the chat. Of course, we'll be checking in with your results before we jump into this game. And before we jump into it, of course, we've got to check in with Frankie. She had a chat with the lovely Toby ahead of this one.
Toby, you'll be facing G2 in your first match of the playoffs. How do you feel about going up against the French-Serbian side?
Lately, we feel really good when we have to play against G2. Yeah, like the last 2 big matches, we could decide the last 2 matches for us, and we have a really good plan or understanding of how they play, and also have a good feeling always mentality-wise. I see us in the close games. We just came out on top. Yeah. So can you say that? Can you say it like that? So yeah, it's a good opponent for us.
Well, we are really looking forward to seeing this match play out. So thank you for talking to me about it, Toby.
Thank you very much as well.
I think we've got to start off by talking about Big's run through their group. Of course, you were kind of saying it there, Maniac, maybe not as hard as some of the other groups we've been facing, but of course they managed to top it 2-0 over FaZe, 2-1 over Godsent. So where does that kind of leave your perceptions of Big coming into today?
Well, first of all, to put some context with that team, I think it's fair to say Big is one of the most improved team of the past 6 months, or even probably in 2020. I know these have been kind of unique circumstances that Counter-Strike has found himself in, but Big really pulling ahead in that time, making tremendous progress. The man at the right-hand side of that graphic, I don't know how would I call that, this digital dance floor that they have over here, Surson, again, he's been tremendous with the AWP. Every time they've snatched a championship title, it was on the back of Surson's crazy AWP. You have Xantares as well. He's topping the charts right now with 138. Second best rifle, second best player even in that event. tabseN, you've heard me talk about him for a million years. You know I find him to be such a crazy good player all around. Good IGL as well. So it's a lineup that's been setting up crazy expectations for them. Maybe they've lowered up a little bit their level, but they're still very dangerous.
Yeah, and we've been talking about Big as, you know, kind of making the most of an online era, thriving, if you will, in this era. And currently, you know, the reigning champions of DreamHack Open, of course, in a slightly different context within DreamHack Open Summer. And I'm sort of looking to you, Blair, with some questions about them kind of returning to that form that we've seen. Have you seen any particular drop-offs? Is there anything that you think they need to be focusing on coming into this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, they had an incredible summer, right? But it's no longer summer, it's fall right now, it's entering into winter, so it's a very different landscape altogether. They had kind of middling results recently, but so far they've looked fantastic, like Maniac just mentioned. Xantares, second highest rated player in the tournament. First, obviously, being ZywOo. But then you look at some of the stats. Now, there is a caveat. They've only played 5 maps, right? And one of the wins was against the likes of FaZe. But they have some really impressive stats. You have Surson being one of the best pistol round players so far in the tournament. They even have, this is ludicrous, a 42% win rate when they're a man down in a 4v5 scenario. That is ludicrous if you look at the stats. And even when it comes to flash assists, utility, and big, it's kind of synonymous. It goes hand in hand. They have the best flash assists so far in the tournament as well. Stats-wise, they look fantastic. Form-wise, they've looked kind of okay, kind of middling. I think this is going to be the real test for the side of big heading into the playoffs.
It is going to be a test indeed. And moving over to the other side of the server, the wonderful Frankie had a chance to check in with Kenny S ahead of this one.
Kenny, congratulations on making it through to the upper bracket of the playoffs here at the DreamHack Openfall. I wanted to ask you about your friend Jax, because you're on boot camp together at the moment. You've been reunited. And he had a very impactful performance in your series against Heroic. But in the past few months, perhaps hasn't had the same impact we'd expect from him. So what do you think has brought him back to the form we know and love from him?
I think it's pretty much the same for everyone in the team. We've had a big fall, I would say. And then we realized why we had this fall, I would say, including like obviously the players. We know what we had to do better, and I think we are trying to make things better for ourselves and for the team, which is a good thing. And you can see that it's already paying off, even though we are not the same G2 that is among the top 5 best team in the world right now. But yeah.
Congratulations on making it to the upper bracket, and we'll see you then.
Yeah, thank you, Frankie.
Fantastic words there from Kenny to be opening up this one. And I want to just pay some attention to some of the recent match results, because we see it up there. G2 versus Astralis, an absolutely huge game to be kicking off day 2 here at Openfall. But I want to turn the attention to Dust 2, which we found ourselves on as G2's map pick in this series. They managed to beat Astralis Maniac 16-2. It was absolutely insane. A complete turnaround from what we saw on Nuke, where they lost 16-6.
I wish I could give you some sort of explanation, logical theme about Dust 2, but the truth is we cannot. I think Dust 2 is going to be the subject of movies in the future where scientists are trying to understand what's happening in this microcosm. You know, you enter inside of it, you don't really know what's happening. People are talking, you can't understand them. Dust 2 is a black box of Counter-Strike. Teams can get blown on it, then play the next day and be absolutely amazing. G2 falling into that category, it almost became a meme at some point in the summer, picking Dust 2. Okay, guys, we'll never pick Dust 2 again. Then we play once more and we beat them. So I cannot really give you an explanation as to this. I wish I could, but that would be overestimating my abilities.
No, I think it's a really good point to be picking up on. And I think the man on your screen, as we've been seeing, Kenny S, is a huge confidence player. And we saw a massive confidence boost coming into that game against Astralis there. Obviously not topping the scoreboard. Next, they're actually really, really stepping up. But another player that we've seen stepping up in some other regards, Blair, has actually been Hunter as well. He's been having a huge impact in some of their previous games here at Openfall.
No, absolutely. Like, Nico's cousin has been spectacular so far. Alongside Kenny is as well. I don't want to really harp on too much on that match they had against Astralis. 16-2 win over Dust 2, great, but they got banged out right on Nuke and Inferno. I want to talk more about that Heroic game which they won. It was a 2-1 affair. They lost to Overpass. They won Vertigo and Inferno pretty convincingly. Here's a good thing. Here's a good sign for G2 heading into this matchup. In that game, on all the 3 maps, they had spectacular starts. Overpass, they were 8-0 up. Obviously, Heroic were able to bounce back and get that win. It was their map pick after all. They were the better team overall on that map. But G2 have been having pretty good starts. They've been looking pretty solid so far against, I'd say, opponents of their caliber. And I feel Big would fall in that particular bracket.
Well, with that, I think we can move on into our predictions for this next game, gentlemen. Maniac, I am starting with you. Who's going to be taking this one?
All right, here's the time, guys. Here's the time I lay it all out. I think it's G2. I think G2 is going to take it. I think, as Kenny had put it in the interview, they've dipped, but I think they've hit the bottom of the ocean, and now they're on their way back up, and they might meet Big Rye at the right time. So I'm going to go for G2. I'm taking a risk right here, but I have a good feeling.
Interesting. I like that. Blair, are you going to speak from your heart too?
God,
Doesn't
how
have a
hard. I
heart.
just got to rely on the stats here. Listen, when you're bouncing off from the bottom of the ocean, there's water holding you down. It's going to take a while to rise up there. So I'm going to go with Big. I know they've had an easier group so far. I know they haven't been really tested yet. Yeah, they beat FaZe, which is kind of funny. They beat FaZe, which just won a pretty big event very recently, just last week. So I'm going to rely on the trust I have in Mr. Sirison, Xantares, and the big monster, I guess, whatever system they have working for them.
Kraken.
It is really, really good. So I'm going to rely on my head, not my heart.
Oh, I'm so split with this. Do I follow my head? Do I follow my heart? I think I'm going to go with my heart. I think I'm siding with G2 to be taking this one, but I do think we will be seeing it go to the full 3 maps. And I really hope we do, because these are some spectacular maps to be playing out on in this series. Of course, we've got to check in with you guys down in Twitch chat to see who you're going to be siding with. Blair, you've got to be happy with that. 59% going with you. Big brain over here.
Twitch chat right there. I mean,
In a
you have
nutshell.
to. I mean, they just started with me. I've started with them. You know, it all makes sense.
Your buddies, it's great. Well, I think with that, we can begin to kick off this final series of the day. The only thing left to do is to get this game underway, and it's going to be an absolute banger, a showdown for the ages to wrap up our day here at DreamHack Open 4. It's going to be big, taking on G2 after this.
Hello, and welcome, as we are now one step closer to actually getting into the action, getting into this upper bracket quarterfinal between Big and G2. Launders, it is the DreamHack Masters Grand Finals rematch, where Big reverse swept G2 in such an embarrassing fashion. Is there anything more embarrassing than that you can think of?
Heroic? Were you talking about Heroic?
No, sorry, my man. It's the big G2 Masters Grand Final rematch.
Yes, that's right. Everyone forgot that was the. Everyone forgot that there was a
Reverse
sweep
sweep.
recently. Yeah, that was the Astralis sweep at Pro League, and then everyone was like, "Oh, is it the first time ever?" But no, actually the first time was Big G2 a few months ago. So yeah, I'm not sure there was, but it was very fitting for G2 to lose a final in that fashion.
It was, right? It's kind of, I think it was a bit of an indicator of kind of Big taking over one of those top spots. Maniac saying how Big is one of these teams who is really shined in these last 6 months, and they had to displace G2 on that journey. What a better way than in a reverse sweep grand finals with all the money on the line. But here we are, folks, okay? No elimination, just pride. And G2 with an attempt to get that sweet revenge, because since that BO5, as our desk so elegantly told you guys, you know, they've had a BO3 since. Also went the way of Big. G2, they need an answer back. Maybe it begins here today, the 19th of October. It is the CT side of Inferno for Big first, and, well, they're already down Banana. Keto tucked into the corner, Nexa there to hold him as G2 clear out apps.
The longer the round goes on, the more comfortable the CTs will become. The bottom B control and the rotations back over to A. Ball coming up here for G2.
Little flashbang top mid. That gets Keto checking corners down at the base of the ramp, but it's Tabson who seems to shut things down pretty quickly. He was, of course, playing as that arch rotate. There's still the man inside of the pit. The other two A players now joined by that late lurk, but it's all headshots coming out of Big. 3 USP kills for the round as Big take first pistol.
I really like that setup. Just assuming that G2 would take some time to have the fast rotates in with banana control. Make sure you don't have to retake there, but then to play back like this is good. I think the only thing that would have helped, of course, as we can see from the replay, is a nice moto smoke to help with the Halls pop to eliminate some of the sight lines from Arch. But G2 did not know what setup Big were going to implore. So overall, very nice setup here from Big. And this veto is quite interesting, of course, having Dust View and Inferno picked by, it felt like, the wrong teams.
Yeah.
But to end up on these two maps, in some sense, makes sense. So, yeah, we
could see it from our analyst reactions that didn't quite make sense. We even had our beloved producer Dagny go double check just to make sure.
Yeah.
And sure enough, this is how things are meant to be. I'm so excited for Dust 2 because, again, we saw G2 wreck Astralis, but I can't look that far into the series yet.
We'll get there.
We will. Oh, we will. And we'll also get into the gun rounds here on Inferno once these pesky pistol players have been popped. Right now, it's some missed shots off the Glock. Nexus P250 will respond. Hey, that's 2 kills with very little to work with and an MP9. Maybe Nexa takes one with him, but he is undeniably a sinking ship in this situation. Searson just turning his attention in time, but hard cleared. Now that's a fresh MP9. Prefers the skin, perhaps. Grab that bomb.
If he wants to. The bomb is his. It's up for grabs. It's the Blinken right there. It's calling his name. There's still technically enough time to plant if something crazy happens right now. Let's see. He's caught a timing. That's one spotted.
15. He could still book it, but it's that close left Keto kill that seals the deal.
So, talking about G2, I'm sure they talked about Inferno stats for G2, but we had this big win for G2 recently versus Heroic. They struggled on Inferno in their other big match recently versus Astralis. Some of their problems that we cited were their banana control, not knowing how to re-aggress or be aggressive enough on banana, and also leaving arch open constantly, which Glaive kept exploiting both. And we saw them play versus Heroic. We saw top form G2. That was big. That was Jax top fragging. That was Kenny S hitting shots. That was Nexa and Hunter all being as consistent as they have been. And we saw a lot of those gaps in the defense patched up.
Yes, we did.
That's what makes this map so exciting right now.
Yeah, I remember it was a day after they had lost to Astralis, we saw that come out of the veto, and I know that you and I were thinking to ourselves, like, damn, like, it's Inferno versus Heroic. Are they really going to be able to, patch the problems? But they did. So it's good to know G2 are on a quick turnaround. Jax's mentality starting to come back, his championship mentality, perhaps. You heard Kenny S in our pregame interview with Frankie discussing their kind of return to form. It's a great bromance right now between Kenny and Jax. It's good for the team.
Yep, they're like Spartans in arms.
40 seconds left over, and we're starting to see G2 explore at the top of Banana with bomb, and now they're just going to go ahead and go off of this. It's towards mid that Amanek catches not one, but 2 CTs. That draws the arch rotate back in, but Mohan, it also draws the bomb over. Those 2 kills at the A site is enough for G2 to justify the commitment, but that's where the CTs still are. They took 2 off of the 4-man stack. Luckily, they are able to bring it back, despite it looking like Big were going to rob them. Keto is barely alive at the end of this. Greatly done by Amanek. Those 2 kills in mid, and then, of course, the 3rd around the bomb site. G2 on the board.
You could tell Nex has been watching some demos. This is a setup we haven't seen from G2. They haven't tried this in the last few matches. Feels like they exploited a weakness from Big and kind of preyed on their insecurity a little bit with that double mid-push shutdown with a little bit of a B fake. The default almost overstayed its welcome up until the final 20 seconds of the round, but it actually became just enough time to get exactly what they wanted out of it. So bomb goes down, goes off, 2 AKs saved. Keto with the 1 rifle over a B is not so bad for Big Clan, but I think we're seeing some good stuff already from G2. I'm quite curious how this next round will go. Maybe not this one. We'll have a Xanteris buy up because he had a bit too much money. He'll grab an M4 and some utility. 2 rifles can be enough. Really depends on how they're going to play it.
Yeah. How about a 3rd one there added to the mix? A little scout on Searson. One of the best scout players in all of this big blue marble. Searson looking down. Banana sees nothing. Awkwardly stuck inside of that smoke for the moment. Nex is going to try and challenge this. Frag grenade could really soften him up. No, it goes past the mark, and they're going to boost the AK. So we've got that AK-47 and that Scout both in position on Banana. A challenge off of the flashbang, but that AK was playing counter flash, so it's an easy response to pop Nexa. Then they fade back with their utility, buying a little bit of time, a little bit of comfort. Looking to make the most of this 5v4.
And we got the AK upgrade for Hunter. So that's MP7 to AK. Even though it's 4 players, G2 still pretty scary, especially showing us they want to hit B site right now. No one watching top brackets for G2 or for Big, so the rotations will be slow.
Big's 2B players able to put themselves into a different setup. You know, we had that boosted AK with the Scout peak. Now it's yet again AK up top of the site and Searson to try and draw attention into the corner. Puts the scope up, misses the first shot, misses the second. Keto's here on damage control, and he's doing an excellent job. That's a crucial 3-piece coming out of Keto this round. And then further damage added to the tally versus Hunter, but he'll get his bomb plant. And a smoke grenade, and a Molotov. And now we're seeing G2 play that utility to create comfort the same way those CTs did as they backed up off Banana. But Banana now belongs to Tabson. And with this Deagle and MP7, that is a very real threat. Kenny S on full HP, makes contact, drops Tabson. Tizian's Deagle answers back through the edge of the wall, and Kenny goes down to Xantares. So 2.5 rifles is enough. Big taking back a round.
He was close to being able to delay if he could have stayed alive at that moment. He would have had to take a duel, of course, but 10-second defuse with no kits on the board for Big. And that's all about Keto. What we witnessed that round, Connor, was Keto without V-Sync on, okay? That's what he's capable of. So we know that there's probably going to be more rounds like that. And overall, we're going to see this from start to finish. So the top Banana hold was really big to get the Nexa kill at first, and then from his position on B, again, it comes a lot down to the hold because Big were busy recollecting information on bracket, not even Arch side at all, so they were quite far from B. Required some good frags to come in.
Amanek tries to really pick up the pace here. That smoke grenade pluming in the middle of it all kind of gives Searson a bit of cover. He also has cover in teammates. 3 members of Big at B early on, but G2 have 4 stacked up, ready to rock and roll. Once that utility fades, they could just charge headstrong into this. Now, that third player from Big has actually moved away, but Searson goes unchecked. He still decides to fire off and gets 1 for his efforts. It's Keto yet again in the hot seat, able to get the first one. Challenges further. Despite taking tons of damage, he decides to stick out the smoke instead of falling back. But with no CT smoke cross, well, Tabson's rotate in position fast enough. Hunter gets that reload in. Tabson then cleared as the crisp headshot connects. We're left in the 2v2. But Jax is unable to cross and get bombs, so Hunter, he's gone for it. And now he can go ahead and plant. CTs are going to try to rush. He knows it. He can't come off fast enough, and he's caught out by Tizian. This leaves Jax stranded and desperate with a Deagle, and 30 seconds left over with a deadly crossfire to try and get through.
Like he's going to give it his best shot. The ultimate crossfire here from the CTs, and Jax is going to try to crack it open. Knows where the pressure points are, but can't hit the shot. It's doomed to be traded. We actually saw a fantastic play there by Tizian. He flashed high over construction and then pushed to wrap around ruins. And Hunter, as he flashed, went to go look for it because he got off the bomb. But Tizian then went to push CT spawn and shot him in the back. So outplayed him just by himself with that one flash. Very nicely done. Big cleanup. If G2 have a smoke there, they don't lose the extra player. Kenny S broke his shin jumping onto the site, trying to get to the bomb plant zone, and then got sprayed down. So with a little bit more utility, you might have seen a different outcome. Overall, the starts of these rounds have been good. They've been getting the rotates they want, but the opening kill keeps going to Big.
Yeah, this time ×2. Searson taking the duel with the man downrange. Spots the guy in the closer corner. Really good target prioritization. Considering there was a flash in the mix, he knew he had more time than they would have to kind of rebound from that flashbang. So, damn. You wanted to talk about how utility just a round ago, Mohan, could have saved them with that CT cross? Well, one piece of utility makes the difference here too, but not in the favor of G2. No, that's Big. making the offensive. Kenny S catching Tabson on the side of double box. That could have been the kill back for G2. He will clean it up, finish it off. Jax honing in on Pit is bested by Xantares, who now has this line through the smoke grenades to ensure nobody actually crosses towards site. So they cross back instead to Arch. And that's allowed to them because Keto's flank down mid didn't actually hold this. Now they know exactly where G2 can get off to, and they put that pressure on Searson, who's looking to double his kills to close this round and give Big their fifth. The T's nearly lining up as Searson isolates the duel, leaving Kenny to trade it. This is him in a 1v4 with a single defender towards B, but the smoke grenade trying to draw them into him. He gets called out and spotted, dealt with swiftly. Big lead, 5-1.
Zian slides over to the other side, avoiding Kenny's POV, and yeah, Big go up another one. I mean, we all know Big are amazing on Inferno. It's not easy to get up lane, especially versus Xantares and Pit, versus the counter utility that they have. They have so many protocols for stopping these executes, and it just feels like they know every single bit of utility when it gets thrown out and where it lands. So that's the hard part for G2. But in terms of game plan, it's not been too bad. I think a huge thing is, as Bled pointed out, they've got the best flash assist stats right now, and a lot of these first players are getting blind and shot down. So they have no chance to shoot. Of course, it doesn't matter if you've got, you know, any one of these players, and no matter what their form is on G2, if they're blind, they're useless. Doesn't matter. Like they're just as good as me or you, Connor. So they've got to be able to. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be as good as me or you and be playing for hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
I think that fun fact just now is kind of just all the evidence you need to know that Searson's one of the most dedicated oppers. 76 op kills, 7 scout kills, more scout kills than all other rifles combined. That's kind of nuts. I suppose it's also a testament to the strength of the SMGs. Elliot, our fun fact fanatic, if we could get that stat, I'd be quite happy. Let's dive a little deeper on this one, Elliot. How much SMG kills in comparison to the scout/op? That's your homework, buddy. Take it away. While G2 try to rob one away. With just these deagles, I don't bet much on them, Mohan.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, when we saw DreamHack Masters, there was a point where it was like, Searson's the best scout player of all time, you know, after one tournament.
Yeah, sure.
Because of how many incredible rounds that he had. Still definitely is that player. But all of Big right now, their form is slipping. Every single one of them, actually. There's not like one player that's just hard carrying every match.
And this MP9's about to burst out from the cubby. He's going to get 4 players in front of him. Sends a flash to the skies. Doesn't leave off of it. Still many players waiting for him. There's a little USP tap in the middle of it all. Tabson creeping in, but Nexa, hello! Double deagle headshot is some sort of a parting gift here. You know, G2 doing damage decently enough in these kinds of lesser equipped rounds. We saw them in the conversions get some kills. Woo! The crowd goes wild. This is cool, man. I feel like I'm inside of Tron.
Yeah, Tron's a good one.
I would say
2077
yeah.
vibes.
It's a bit of an upgrade from our previous DreamHack crowd. Good job, team. Good job. Op shot, missed. Searson got aggressive there, ate a flashbang, sent a single shot down range, and then left it. He is the only opper in this round, of course. G2 5 AKs.
They're going into, looks like an arch wrap setup. I don't know. Bomb's still back at T stairs, so they're just throwing grenades in the meantime. I guess what they're seeing right now is that they can easily get the rotations they want. But again, it's like not dying first has been their hardest, their biggest demon. But at this point, we're crossing the minute mark with control at both brackets and top E, so I think they're going to be comfortable once again.
Yeah, I like the way they just kind of crank the tempo too. G2, they know what they want. It's a matter of getting it, and Kenny S gets what he wants. 2 AKs on that B site. Jax trying to cut off the rotates here, just dives back into cover because he knows his life is so valuable. Him staying alive will section off any possibility of a banana wraparound, and I think that sort of pushes Big's hand into a potential save. Yeah, they could go do some damage, but their cash isn't amazing. I would like to see Big, as we know they do, just make the proper decision here, boys. Don't rush it. It's a 6-2 lead on the CT side of Inferno. You're doing everything well other than a quick Kenny S 2K. Well, this round's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely be careful about this hunt because they've, you know, don't get ahead of yourselves. You've won 1 round. They're going to spot 1. Jax goes down. It's like, do you need to? I mean, they're going to have 3 rifles, a high chance they get at least 1 kill there.
Sure.
We'll see if it matters, but it feels like G2's game plan is really easy to see. Like they're getting away with the map control they want. They just lose that opening kill. When they don't lose their opening kill, we see a round like this where they just have a great time entering onto a site. And I think, you know, for Big, it's like they don't really need to change much until it does start to get out of hand. At the moment, they're still winning most of their rounds. They have really good protocols on A. Tizian is having a fantastic game so far. 9 rounds in as an A player. You can tell he's feeling very smart and like hitting a lot of shots. We don't see a lot of Tizian highlights but I think it's just his aim style is not that flashy. He's not really a flashy rifler, but
damn,
people have a lot of good things to say about him. We got a fun fact.
We do. Elliot, he's done his research, and it seems that 10 SMG kills in the group stage. So, damn, more MAC 10 kills than all rifles. Yeah. Again, just evidence that the scout's viable. Rifles are good and all, but SMGs also add into the mix. I love Counter-Strike and its variety of weaponry. Nothing's too broken at the moment. At least that's what you think until Art gets to Europe with his P90 and the Euro tears start flowing.
I'm not biased, but one can hope.
Yeah. I would say NA would cry, but
you're
dead already. Yeah. We got early damage here between Xanteras and Jax. Everybody's still standing early. You know, you talked about how everybody's got their protocols. Everybody's playing their game plan, but it's these opening kills. And oh, the opening damage is massive. It is immense. Nexa gets blown to smithereens, with Kenny S also falling to now sub 20 HP, and the pressure continuously applied here from Big. Not 1, but 2 players interchangeably peeking down this banana, trying to get an additional kill here, really trying to solidify a 7th round. But Kenny S, despite being low HP, has other ideas. Keto, risky move to try and get back that gun. He realizes the risk he's playing with the proximity of G2, and instead it is relegated back to the M4. So he just tucks into oranges and hopes that he can do the damage. There are 2 players tagged, make it 3, one of which now down. This retake's doable, but Big last time didn't want to run the risk. It seems here, in the 9th round, they're gonna take a chance. One frag, thrown out by Tabson. Misses the mark. That could have killed either Kenny or Jax. Hell, a single stray shot would take one of them out. We get this eventual come-up banana from Tizian, but it is the site players making way more noise, and Jax, even low HP, like Kenny S, is able to get an additional kill, but there's 2 back for Big. It's all on Amanek. He pops up from the little hole and wrecks face, denying Big the retake and giving G2 a 3rd round.
Nice little photo finish there from Amanek in the 1v2. It was looking like a strong round there in the post plant from G2, but of course Big had to make a meal of it, so it came close. But I actually am a big fan of the calling on both sides at the moment. We see an adjustment there from Big. It's slight, but it has a huge impact. They get the opening kill again with a double nade on logs. They just delayed a bit, because as we've noticed, G2 have been coming onto Banana, re-aggressing, walking up late, and so Big just throw a lot of their grenades 30, 40 seconds after the round begins. But even with that, G2, they stay on Banana, which is the oversight. Big assumed they would leave, and they left one person in B by himself. And so that's why I'm a fan of both sides of the calling right now.
Never really stood a chance there, poor Tabson. Peeks into 4 players with a USP. Big trying to create a situation where G2 may make a mistake. They are all 5 guys in on Banana, and Keto with the Deagle headshot takes one of them off, but easy answer back, including the kill on the flanker. So, I mean, this could very easily alleviate the pressure of committing towards B, head back onto the A site if necessary. With 50 seconds, G2, they'll just take their damn time. Smokes over the top. One for the cross, one on Coffin. Keto fills the Coffin with another Desert Eagle kill. Are they stubborn enough to keep on trying? There's maximum one player on A. Keto's already shown them that he is capable with the Deagle, but I guess Hunter's had enough, and he will take him down. The Turkish Delight, Xantares, ready to rock with the P250. Gets the first kill, but he can't quite manage that second. Imagine had he done it. That third player, not really in a tradable position, and we would have had a 1v1 out of nowhere. But it is the fourth round for G2. It's still the 2-point lead for Big, but Keto racking up the costs here with this Deagle.
He's been doing great. It's just that perspective of if they leave Banana, that's its own risk if they don't know where the other guy is. They don't want to get in a situation they rock back. One guy's sitting in underpass the whole time, shoots him in the back. They turn around, run back into Keto, that kind of thing. So I guess they figured, if we're good enough, we just trade out. Keto has a really nice shot, to be fair. 1 million on flashbangs. Tabson has thrown over 5,000 flashbangs this year and has just under 400 flash assists. Did I read
Listen,
that?
I'm no economist, Mohan, but flashbangs are $200. Even if he threw 10,000, that's only 20,000. But we're estimating 1 million. This seems inflated, like house prices.
I don't know. Whatever Elliot says, I believe him.
Okay. We should.
I follow.
He
Elliot
has proven.
to the end of the earth.
Yeah. Right to the edge. Elliot, I'll jump off with you.
Yeah, Elliot, you have to jump though.
Yeah. I'll follow, I promise.
Trust me, I'll jump right after you.
Frag grenades missed the mark this time around. A little more timid G2 perhaps. Dodging that, making sure they don't take their early damage, but still vying for banana control. Although, it's now been given away for free. We're getting the counter utility to take it, but the CT's comfortably sitting in their bomb site.
I'm a big fan of this game so far.
Hell yeah.
Back in the site, let's see. Look at the. Okay, so these are different look, of course, on banana. Bit delayed grenades to the top of car, but it's kind of a feign. G2 have still stood out here, so this is when it gets a bit scary for Big because now they're going to rotate one over to reinforce with the up. I like this adjustment a lot, but they are still hoping it's A and it's N.
Oh. And then it comes around as the smoke pops, and Keto barrels outwards, sees a lot of presence here. Tabson, he's ready, boosted up, and it's all so easy when Kenny S and Jax seem to be joined at the hip. Hunter with the second kill in the round. The only man to connect the kills is shut down by Searson, he who started off this one with that close combat opping. So he begins and ends on that B-bomb site. Big lead, 7-4.
I'd like to know if Nexa would call that an execution mistake where they peek CT spawn before the smoke actually pops, because he gets opt crossing, but they might not have realized an op was there. So if there wasn't, did he want to do that on purpose? Would be my question. Now they lose a couple of players in that process, and there was that weird moment where Big were trying to get the op, but then rotate out. However, there's eco. You can't write it off. Amanek gets an opening Tech-9 kill, and Xantares is only here by himself, trying to do the best that he can. He's almost in safety, but Amanek gets another kill.
Damn, if that
oh my god,
able to...
Xantares is clear mid and dinked his teammate.
Oh, and then Kenny S gets a second on it. Is this good? It was looking like a 5-man survive type G2 moment off of the Tech-9s. Okay, let's settle down. I think everybody was kind of lulled into this false sense of security. The rounds had been playing out quite textbook. We had utility being exchanged down banana. Everybody was sizing one another up. Nobody was doing anything too crazy. And then Amanek, out of nowhere, running through middle, insta headshots the mid peak, follows up with the AK kill on Arch. I didn't quite see the Xantares teammate dink, but I feel like in his position, it's understandable. The guy's so scared. He was so alone at A, and there was terrorists all around him.
Yeah, he was completely tunnel visioned, clearing mid out as the only rifler left, and just completely destroyed Tabson.
Oh, that's a wrench in the works. And look at the result of this as well.
Oh my god. Yeah, swing round.
Wow. Blink and you'll miss it. A slap in the face coming from G2. Now everybody's woke. But Big are also broke. An MP9 on Xantares, all they had. Emphasis on the past tense, because already 2 kills coming in for G2. Make it a third. Tabson's inside of the smoke-throwing utility, but the only V defense is Big's last remaining members. Tabson loses Keto, tries to flash himself outwards, but that's 5 guys up for G2, now only 1 round away, and Big, they're in recovery mode.
Now this half is really up for grabs just because of that really strange round.
Holy.
With a couple of great entries. I mean, you know Omenek's good for at least one of those rounds a half on basically any map. That's kind of what he does on the T side. He uses like bad guns and gets 2 kills. He'll use like he has like more Mac 10 kills than AK kills, I think, in his career. Some kind of Elliott stat like that.
Numbers only Elliott can crunch, but G2 smash Tabson on the front of Banana. Tizian's dropped off of the flank. Look at this cohort of terrorism. G2, man, like a unit. Every single corner is getting cleared. Every single position is checked. Now the hunt is on. Xantera is trying to creep around. Alt just got seen by Amanek. That's going to be an easy call, and patience will be the name of the game. There it is. A potential flawless round out of G2 to tie this game at 7. Anybody could take the lead coming into the second half, and that really excites me.
Yeah, that's awesome, because it did feel like it was going to slip out of G2's hands. It was going to be a very real stomp here for Big, but they've already done well on CT side to make this a very interesting second half. So I'm looking forward to seeing not only who wins this round, but like what even happens next half. Omenek, will he upgrade to an AK? Maybe there's one on the ground, I assume. Oh, and actually M4 is his preference. We know it's his preference. He's got 10k to his name, and he picks up the M4 over the AK.
And now it's like Amanek's round never even happened, and the tempo and pace go back to the game that we had before we were all shook to the core. The pressure still mounts, and so does the damage. Nice banked grenade there, right on the heads of 2.
So they have these light touch grenades that come off the wall on Banana, and they work out so well as G2 linger around Banana just around the minute mark. They're calling that over and over again. Big trap here at top mid. They're going to go for the retake, and they've got a double push on Arch, and Jax will scurry away. Got the attention of Kenny S too. It seems like he wants a piece of this to maybe try to fight a rifler, but I don't think they know there are 2 ops on the map at the moment. And love the way that G2 have been working the map for the most part.
Pressure Arch through the Molotov costs them a lot of HP, but they do get the trade frag. Now we're going to get Searson in the back of the bomb site with that op. Not the most comfortable position for a sniper to be, but with Xanterez on his side, suddenly things seem easy. Kenny S will trade one. Hunter snapping the headshot into Searson brings us to the 2v2. Bomb retrieved for only a moment. 6 seconds left over. Hunter needs to plant. He thinks the CT's close and that he can get the kill, but that's not the case. This half fizzles out, not with a frag, but rather the clock coming to an end. Big will close with a 1-round lead. After the break, somebody's taken this map.
Boom boom, chicken boom boom bang, but ding ding ding. Oh, chicken boom boom bang, but chicken go go, chicken do go bang, but boom boom boom. We bang bang, we bang bang bang. Bang bang bang, you boom bang bang. Go bang bang bang, bang bang bang, don't bang. Chicken do go bang, but bang bang. Ding ding bang bang, ding ding ding. Chicken ding bang bang bang.
G2 Esports versus Big in map 1, 1/2 deep, and we've got Big with a 1-round lead. Gonna kick off that second pistol to the T side. Welcome back, everybody. Settle down. Settle in. This is gonna be a really good map. It's gonna be a really good series, but it's far from over. Oof.
Oh, man.
It's
okay. That's
over already for Keto.
A good guy to kill, man. Keto's had some monster energy. Okay, this first half. Oh, he's gone. They don't have to worry about him. Ooh.
Nice. Kenny, yes. Taps into the face of Tabson. But they have alleviated the pressure on Arch. This now allows Big to play around with the idea of the wrap, but with a man in apps, they want to hit this A site. Check out the radar. CT's kind of sniffing out and suspecting all situations. Santerez, he's going to work into the bomb site. The corners are clear, my friend. It's really just the pit you have to worry about. Because of that moment of silence they took towards Arch side, G2 actually doubled a couple players over towards B. And that's what allowed for them to now exit. Kenny S, he just comes quickly into the retake. His 13th frag as he swoops into the pit and leaves this on Searson 1v4. All the T's hit the floor, and G2 tie at 8.
The calling is so good, man. The calling is so good from both G2 and Big right now. They got the, even though Big lose that opening kill, there's a double nade to logs. That was perfect. Then they go for the arch wrap. Kenny S makes the perfect rotation to peek through mid to clear out brackets to see if they're doing some kind of fake. And then that's after he gets to the opening kill, of course. And this was Tizian making an amazing play to jump on Jax in the pit so his teammates could plant. And then Kenny S doing the exact same thing to Tizian with the USP jumping into the mini pit to trade him out. I really feel like it's one of the rare times you see kind of both teams. They're both making some mistakes, don't get me wrong, but both teams are making it hard for the other to win, making really good moves at different points in the rounds.
Am I crazy, or are there just more and more M4A1S players kind of popping out of the woodworks here? We got 2 for the moment on G2. And one of which got a single kill on the hold. Only a single kill. Kenny S through the smoke, trying to connect one. But he can't. And so Big, damn, just barreling into the bomb site, popping out of the apartments, trading efficiently, and now trying to hang on from basically 2 positions. But there are 4 of them. So each spot doubled up inside of pit. Once that smoke fades, maybe G2 try and throw this one. Oh my god, they're taking so much damage from the fire. The bomb, it's already halfway gone, but Amanek does have positioning inside of the site. Xanterez sees him, and they just have to play the clock. Yeah, Kenny S gets the headshot, but they're gone. And now they realize that it's difficult to retreat. Kenny S could have also survived with his 2 teammates, but that is not the case. Bomb pops, and ooh, even Nexa dies.
Yeah, wow. Well, it was because it was a half force. For Big, even though they lose everybody, they can buy up with grenades. That would have been a bit sketchy if that was a full buy round. But that works out quite nicely for Big. For G2, Amanek's got his weapon of choice. He'd probably buy this on a full rifle, so he's happy. And they're going to spend down a little bit on everybody. What a strange round. But it's really all about Xanterez with a MAC-10 getting 2 entries out balcony. That's that can't be understated. He's had a couple of rounds where it's like all about him. One of his pit hold rounds, that entry into pit. I think the M4A1S buys to reignite that conversation. Sure. I think at the very minimum, it's like if you think the M4A4 is better, that's one thing. If you can survive with the M4A1, you can get more buys in just because it's cheaper. And if more people use it, then more people are comfortable with it. Then you can drop it to more of your teammates. So that's also good. So I feel like it comes down to how comfortable are people, whether or not they think it's better, since it's cheaper, are they willing to try it?
I like your hypothesis.
Could be it, not sure. Or Hunter, you know, put a figurative gun to their head and said, listen, we're all going to use M4A1Ss because I like it more. And there are cooler skins, and I don't want to be dropped M4A4s anymore.
It sounds cool. That's always that's the reason. We've got a problem.
Yeah.
But I mean, Nexa has no problem dealing with Searson.
It does have better skins.
Yeah? You think so? Okay, let's hear it. Top 3 skins for the M4A1S according to Launders. Go.
Okay. The Cyrex.
Okay.
Icarus Fell. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And I can't remember the names.
Are you talking about the masterpiece? Are you talking about oh wait, none of them are memorable because the M4A4 has better skins. We're talking Poseidon, Radiation Hazard, Battlestar Galactica, or something like that.
Battlestar Galactica.
The Bullet Rain. No, there's one. It's a Galactica something. But
I shouldn't have tested you with skins. I know you're all about skins. I made a mistake.
No, you have a fair point, dude. The A1S does have some nasty ones. But I think the Poseidon, the Howl, come on. Those take the cake. Oh. Boom. Deagle shots from Kenny and Nexa. Anybody else want to peek down Banana? Huh? No. Instead, they're going to move that bomb over towards Arch. And with a flashbang and a smoke and a frag going through it, Tabson realizes, I may have made a mistake, a grave error. He has delivered bomb to the library. Oh no, things go from bad to worse unless Tizian can just pick up all of the pieces. Aminek's low HP, but Jax goes for the peak. 5 health left on Tizian. 2 CTs to try and topple. Frag grenade could blow Aminek into tomorrow. Shebang! And suddenly, it's the 1v1.
Oh, it's the brain game, okay? 5 HP doesn't matter if you're smart enough. It'll be hard to flank Jax in his position at the moment, sitting in Arch. Bombs in library, that's so awkward too. Like, Jax just kind of has to sit on this. And now there's 30 seconds. He knows no one can come from CT. So I think Jax is now officially in the best spot. This will be tough.
What if Jax starts doubting himself?
He's scared. Yeah, he's scared.
Things are because Jax doesn't have armor either, right? So let's say first bullet hits him. Tizian suddenly has an aim punch. He's on the doorway. He's walking in. Jax is spotted and closes this round. Oh boy. What a weird one that was.
Okay, the problem was they got the 2 kills on Banana, and then Tabson, the only one with half a mind, ends up running to A because that's what you need to do when you see this many players pushing down Banana.
Sure.
But his 2 teammates are sitting back at mid, trying to hold for the push. But then Tabson runs into library himself. He was the only one who made a good play, but then also made a bad play right after. His teammate needed to be there with him, and they all needed to hit A together. But instead, he ran into library, thinking he could catch the rotations off faster than they would arrive. But he had the bomb, so that's a bit rough.
That's an awkward one, huh? But that's a second round now that G2 just kind of fluster the situation based off of sheer tenacity. So you said that Aminek is good for 1 each half. Let's just say that's 1 per half so far. And now trying to reap the rewards of it, but a crazy crossfire going down in middle. Tons of damage from the utility here. Smoke grenades enough to keep Jax and Hunter alive. Everybody left from big near sub 50 HP. Scout shots popping off. Searson trying to rock guns back. They don't want your scout, buddy. But he wants to put it in the hands of Tabson. And then it costs him. Hunter just nipping at their heels. So Tabson never needed the scout because, hey, Searson brought him an AK. Now it's all about whether they can get any footing on this B site. Smoke for the cross. 2 counter-terrorists in position in the form of Nexa and Kenny S on the op. But Kenny jumps up into the crosshair of Xantares, who now even has vision towards CT, but Tabson's going to give him the bomb responsibility. Tabson, oh no, Xantares, he gets tagged, backs up right into the stream of bullets, and it's tabseN to try and clutch this. 11 health, 3 opponents. Excuse me, 11 kills. 13 health. Not that it makes a difference. 10 rounds each. G2 tying off of the back of last round's shenanigans.
Well, we already know 70% of the time this setup never fails. Every time. Okay? They locked it down with their 4-pronged lane setup, hoping that Big would go for map control, 2 on Arch, 2 on lane. It's one of G2. It's a classic for G2. They do this on pistols, they do it on anti-ecos, they do it with full rifles. It's one of their favorites. So I'm sure Big knew what was coming once it happened, but it seemed like it was a bit too late once they got that message. And then Hunter hung out behind the lane smoke the whole time, so he was in a great spot to call out that they might be rotating back to B after they got the kills. And that's when the round was really over, you know, killing the player back in pit. Xantares jumps up into a very beautiful shot on the Kenny S. They flashed him off of coffins. He went for the repeak and died so quick. I mean, it's not everybody that can kill Kenny S before he can hit mouse 1, but Xantares may be one of the few.
And I feel like Xantares really had the number of the other second player backed by CT Cross, but he was given the bomb responsibility from tabseN. You know, had that counter terrorist backed up half an inch, his head is gone. And suddenly, yep.
I was going to say, now that we're, you know, now that we're kind of like into the realm of possibility here for G2, looking at their past wins, since it's just like kind of a full rifle or eco round.
Sure.
Probably unlikely. Okay. We're looking at G2 being able to beat Heroic, of course, on Inferno. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong page. Let me quickly do this. So they beat Heroic on Inferno. They lost to Astrala 16-6. Their best match before they beat Heroic was a map against MIBR. In the last 7 games, they've won 3, 2 of which one was to MIBR and one was to Endpoint. So their Inferno's really turning around with this recent Heroic victory. And if they beat Big here too, that would be a huge confidence booster, considering, yeah, they're picking Inferno into Big, which made Maniac rip a page out of his notepad during the veto process.
Like a madman.
Like a madman. So we're seeing some confidence return to G2 on this map.
Yeah. And I think that bodes well, considering that, remember, in the Astralis series, that's when they went for the Dust 2 pick that we had seen them kind of getting away from. So yeah, this is G2 with a different look so far at DreamHack Open Fall RMR. Maybe it's kind of thrown Big bit of a curveball. They're not feeling comfortable, especially not having now officially lost the lead. 11-10. Both teams on weapons, and Kenny S solo Behold versus 4 members of the Big Clan. It's going to be a tough job. Maybe he can topple 1 or 2 as they attempt to get inwards. We've got utility being primed by the players in the back, Keto and tabseN on the forefront. He hits a shot despite being splashed. Kenny S repositions quickly over towards coffins. There's no second smoke. He reads into Keto, going around, and Amanek even catching Tizian down middle after he was able to get 1 kill. So it's a 4 versus 3 with bomb planted. There's going to be a very crucial fight going down on Banana, though. Big time. It's a 2v2 on that side of the map. Trading efficiently so far. The edge still for G2, but now it's taken away. Nexa is all that's left over, and a smoke grenade meets him on this cross. If he walks through it, it's desperate. Xantares unable to stop him, and Nexa clutching out of nowhere.
Doesn't even react. Can you believe that? It was being held. I thought he was going to save. The 2 smokes down, 1 coffin, 1 spools, op at quad, player on Banana, both lines of sight on pool, and he still wins. Man, the trades were strong that round from G2, but up until that point, you'd think, all right, well, they're just going to have to call it a day. That's crazy stuff here from Nexa. They needed that. Back to eco territory for Big after that round.
Damn. All the pieces starting to slot into the puzzle for G2 Esports. Couple zany rounds in each half. That can be attributed to their 2-round lead here. Even more so if you account all of the ecos that those 2 situations have caused. Now Big in the hot seat.
Scary for Big. They survived well, G2 survived a full B exec with kind of just Kenny S there.
Oh, dude, when he turned and checked construction because he assumed Keto was coming.
Yeah, he just like palmed his chest.
Yeah.
You don't come into the club. They've got enough for a very tiny execute. There's the God Flash. But can you flash a God?
Yeah, exactly, right? Amanek is fine back here on New Box. Kenny's going to keep the pressure up with the shots, with the flashbangs, bombs dropped in construction. Big. It's going to be hard to come get it, but Xanterez will rail Kenny between the eyes with the Deeg. Amanek's smoke starting to fade, but he's fine. It's actually just Xanterez who's been a nuisance this time around. Looking for more. Xanterez, 3 frags off of this Desert Eagle. I mean, you wanted to talk about gods. This is one right here. 15 seconds left over, but he faces a very difficult crossfire. However, they are going to give him a chance at this. The second player's not peeking due to his 5 HP, and even then, Xanterez, too many angles to check. He will fall in the end. A good effort in these ecos, but unlike G2, those rounds have not worked out for Big too often. Maybe at the start of the halves, after they've lost a pistol. But I mean, we all know pistol rounds mean so little now. Damn, Xanterez. Doing it dirty, but not doing it quite enough. 13 rounds to 10.
He's looking really, really good today. He's definitely looking very strong, but it's just none of these rounds are easy. Kenny S is definitely on point. Hunter is looking super sharp. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay. So we've actually got the same CT setup from the last round. Exact same, because they didn't test A at all.
Well, now they will. Or rather, A is going to test them. Hunter getting into the... Ooh.
Okay. That's a good bit of information. Look, they cheat out because he didn't actually take mid control there. Ooh.
Hey. Keto, side of the wall. Kenny S is getting curious.
Oh, now they're actually taking B control. Yep. Good, G2. This is the thing that they could not do. They were too afraid to do this versus Astralis. Late banana control.
Oh, and then they rock it all back. They get that deep B control. They're going to have 4 guys on A site. G2 are playing Inferno very well.
Like winners.
Big winners. Not like a team that got reverse swept by Big in the grand finals of DreamHack Masters. No, sir. And that's the Big, or rather the G2 they don't want to be. But check your corner on Banana, because you've got a pressured situation for Amanek, and he's got 2 kills, looking for the 3rd, swapping to the Deeg, and slapping Searson down. Xanterez gets nothing from his arch play. G2 Esports, 14 rounds to 10.
That was a strike. That was a home run. That was a touchdown. That round was beautiful. And it's so unlike what we've seen from G2 recently. Low confidence DP side, low rotations, not giving too many looks to Banana. They figured it all out for this match.
So far, so good. Round 25, featuring Big with 1 gun. It's on Xanterez. A Mac 10, 2 Mac 10s rather. Consider those what you will. Walking up on apps. All right, let's try the pit pop. Remember, G2, they caught an A defense off guard once upon a time in the first half. Now it's Xanterez with that AK. He gets legged as he falls, Keto, but still stands. And it works. An explosive exit out from apartments gives Big a bomb plant and puts G2 into a position where they definitely have to consider a save.
Got a little bit of money, but just enough for a couple of rounds, not for the whole half. Another round where Xanterez wins with his Halls entries. He gets the earlier of the 3 rounds now that they win. He earlier had a round where he Halls entered with the Mac 10, got the 2 frags, and then they won the round. This round he does it again. Not sure how many times he'll be able to do it, but they'll take anything they can get.
Ooh, because of the low health, they have to actually exit, and that's going to play right into the hand of Nexa. One player is already safe enough, I believe, in Xanterez, but if he gets checked...
We heard him.
Nexa hears the footsteps. There's the kill versus Keto, and good thing Xanterez is there to save it. 2 exit here for Big. An 11th round on the board for them.
Yeah. That's an exit kill that matters a lot. So really, again, great map here from Xantara so far. It's a shame it doesn't feel like people are super underperforming, even though the stats might say that. This definitely feels like a map where it's just like the setups are winning the rounds and whatever. Xantaras is doing his best to make the most of his time on T side. And I mean, his economic impact is heard. All of G2 can't buy right now, or like don't have a lot of money left over because of his Deagle round, because of that round. So we'll get a different look here from Nexa. He sits up top here. Some people don't like this spot, but of course you dodge some of the really sick flashes that Tease will throw, and you can fall down into quad after your first kill or second kill.
Flashbang's on point, but the crossfire's looking superior. Frag grenade's gonna dunk onto Tapson. No, it actually gets robbed away by the ledge, but Hunter, not a problem. He is just racking him up, but he does get denied by Searson's ob. Still very difficult for Big to find any footing on this site. I mean, they've been fighting out of the smokes with flashbangs and frag grenades just overwhelming at all possible corners. Now Nexa comes out from Nubox, and they have Searson's position confirmed. It is 15 for G2, 4 map points on Big's map choice.
This is looking really nice. I mean, they just look super strong. Another great look here. And of course, Hunter's just fragging. Nexa plays a spot to perfection after he gets his kill, does some damage, stays alive. He doesn't get mollied out because Big are doing a fast exec, so they don't have those mollies involved in it. And because they go light in that regard, they can never kill him basically. So now we come up to what could be the last round of the first map. Tizian, holy.
Yeah. They extinguish a Molotov to go for the double alt peek, and that gets punished and then some. But it's on Amanek and Kenny S to try and bring this back. Amanek's got nothing to lose, really, other than his life and his gun and all his grenades, but I suppose maybe he values that. Too much to risk it. Yeah, the smoke grenade, that one spells defeat.
I think he was hoping they'd just run over to A at least, and they could just go stack early. But yeah, great map from Amanek as well. He's up 22 and 12 in this game. 4 players over 20 kills. It was Jax to win the map basically versus Heroic with his performance. But everyone else has a good fight this time. So what can Big do? Well, I hope Tizian has a round like that. They can try further Halls Pop entries on A. I think they're going to have a little bit more trouble towards B, but I mean, I feel like they're not going to win this game without at least one successful B exec, so I wouldn't count that out. I wonder what their next call will be. Well, if anything, because of the amount of kills they've gotten, they might treat this like an anti-eco. I don't know if they're fully aware of how much money G2 have to spend, but they know that an op and a rifle were saved. So they'll probably treat it like an anti-force. Let's see if Kenny S tries anything tricky. I would assume.
Okay. Let's see. Fun fact, I remember a Searson flick. 31.8% of Searson's lifetime aces, which is 7 of 22, have come this year.
Whoa.
Just 8.7% of Kenny S's have. Ooh. In a head-to-head statistic fight, Searson's got a big edge.
That's crazy. Yeah, he's had an incredible first quarter, kind of. That's the reason. Yeah. He's probably a huge reason that Searson that Big were able to get to the #1 spot in the first place. So not surprised about that. Kenny looks to mid. They go to Banana. They take so much damage going to Banana, and Kenny S is looking down alt now. The more time they waste, the scarier this gets, but they're moving up quick. Might be for the best. However, Amanek still got a bit of utility, and now they're running back.
Yeah,
however,
they're running.
Kenny S, yeah, he'll catch him. He'll catch him.
So we find Searson at the bottom of it. That kind of stops G2 from removing their other 2 players from the A site. That kill's huge. 5v4 definitely just leaves them with a little bit more comfort. not needing to get ahead of the push if Amanek's able to stand his ground, but luckily the Opper's here. However, a missed shot from Kenny and such low HP pushes a lot of the pressure onto the pistol players. And, well, that B site is there for the taking. It's free. Mind you, I see a flashbang on Nexa. Always maybe try and catch people off guard. He's just tucked inside a construction at the moment, hiding and waiting.
Okay, we'll go next. That definitely got a bit scary. A nice kill from Kenny S. And then he actually made the immediate rotate over to B, had the opening shot, but missed. It was kind of an easy shot for Kenny. He missed it. They still could have won, though, to be fair. 4 players alive since that kill. And Nexa, he's looking to try to get some damage off. Keto will die to the bomb, it looks like. Yeah, 2 down. So that's quite costly, but they still have enough for everything they need. Tizian can drop an op down. Tizian, the other player, the only other player who's positive for Big at the moment. And round 29 now, final moments. G2 have called 2 pauses in the last 2 rounds to discuss things.
No more timeouts, may we add, in case this does get into the realms of overtime.
Crazy when you compare the frags.
I feel like this is how Elon Musk sees the world.
The inside of his brain? Yeah.
Yeah. That's where we are. That's where this new stage is. Inside Elon Musk. Now it all makes sense.
Please say in his brain.
Of course. Yeah, sure. Of course. Of course. M4A1S, UMP45, and an op for a G2 Esports. Plenty of grenades this time. We've seen them make magic happen with far less, yes. Instead of running 2 players to peek out ult, they leave Kenny to try and find someone looking to hold it. Now with all this mid pressure though, I mean, he may think that he's about to get a face full of tea. But Big, they hold off now. The smoke grenade that was inside of apartments fades. That welcomes Tizian to now play and figure out what's going on inside it. And sure enough, based on that timing, Kenny S ejects, leaving for the B site.
I think, yeah, he didn't see the Halls lurk come out, though it is late. So it doesn't seem like Big are going to commit. This would be a great call for Big to go A in this situation, of course, from what we can see. But they've avoided the patrol, and this is great from G2. So even if they don't know now, they're re-aggressing top banana, and they get a kill, man.
Oh, and that one's ballsy. Kenny has to go for the peek and give cover with Amanek up close. That's one thing. Amanek extending around the corner with nobody else having any vision or a real way to support. That's massive. And if this is the way G2 take away map 1, props to them. Not shying away from the confrontation. But Hunter, half his magazine gone. Good thing Jax can snap back with the Deeg, and Nexa comes in with another. G2 with the half buy, getting what they could and making it work wonderfully. Robbing away Big's map pick and giving themselves a chance to the 2-0 series, because we know that Dust 2 is a daunting task for Big. With such a one-sided victory from G2 over Astralis just days ago on it, I'm starting to stress if I'm Big Clay.
For sure. I mean, what can you say, man? That game was really close, but we look at that second half, G2 were clearly the better team. That first half, you're splitting hairs because both teams were playing well, but G2 did so much good stuff there. They're clearly talking about stuff. They're clearly fragging. They're locked in. So, and Dust 2, again, as you mentioned, versus Astralis is such a stomp. It's going to be very exciting to see if they can do that again.
Again, it's coming up next after the break and after our analyst desks. We'll see you guys there soon. Is it a 2-0 from G2? We'll find out soon enough.